What makes one sacrifice acceptable to God? And what does Abel's blood have to do with the blood of Jesus? Welcome to Minute to Soul Win It. I'm Bo Brewer, and this is a space for theology that forms the soul, discipleship that shapes real life, and evangelism that sounds like good news again. And we're continuing our series, Finding Messiah Jesus in the Torah, where we're walking through the Torah and discovering how God's plan of redemption points us toward the Messiah. Today, we go to Genesis 4 and Abel's better sacrifice. After Adam and Eve were expelled from Eden, their sons Cain and Abel brought offerings to the Lord. Genesis 4:3-5 says, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. Why? The writer of Hebrews gives us the answer. Hebrews 11:4 says, By faith Cain offered to God a more acceptable sacrifice than Cain. Notice that? By faith. The issue wasn't simply what Abel brought. It was the faith in which he approached God. And Abel's sacrifice involved blood, the life of an innocent animal given in sacrifice. Then Cain became jealous. His sin grew into murder, and he killed his brother. And God said to Cain in Genesis 4:10, the voice of your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground. Abel's innocent blood cried out for justice. But now listen to how Hebrews connects Abel to Jesus. Hebrews 12:24 says that we have come to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel. A better word. Abel's blood cried out for justice. Jesus' blood cries out for mercy. Abel was innocent of Cain's attack, but Jesus was completely sinless, and he willingly laid his life down for sinners. 1 Peter 1:18-19 says, You were ransomed, not with perishable things, as with silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Christ, like that of a lamb without blemish or spot. Do you see the movement? In Genesis, we encounter sacrifice. In Abel, we encounter faith and innocent blood. Throughout the Torah, sacrifice becomes a central picture of approaching a holy God. And eventually, all of those sacrifices point beyond themselves to Jesus Christ, the Lamb of God. The blood of animals could point toward atonement, but only Jesus could provide the final sacrifice for sin. Hebrews 10:12 says, When Christ had offered for all time a single sacrifice for sins, he sat down at the right hand of God. Abel offered a better sacrifice than Cain because he approached God by faith. And Jesus offered the better blood because he gave himself once and for all. So here's the question for us. How are you and I approaching God? Are we approaching through our own goodness, not through our religious performance, not through trying to cover our own sin ourselves? We come to God by faith in Jesus Christ, whose blood speaks a better word. Your sin and my sin deserve judgment, but the gospel announces that Jesus took the judgment upon himself. His blood speaks mercy. His sacrifice speaks forgiveness, and his resurrection speaks victory over sin, death, and hell. So don't trust in your sacrifice. Trust in his. Before you scroll on, if this video helped you to see Jesus in the Torah, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Minute to Soul Win It, and follow me on YouTube or across social media. And click that notification bell so you don't miss the next episode as we continue discovering Messiah through the Torah. Until next time, keep opening the Bible, keep looking for Jesus, and keep sharing the good news. I'm Bo Brewer, and this has been your Minute to Soul Win It. God bless.